The story begins by explaining that some people's souls remain trapped at the place where they die, and such souls turn into wandering spirits. To free these spirits, an ancient Indian dagger is used, which was also employed by Tibetan shamans during exorcism rituals. After this, we are told about a portal known as the Guimoon portal, which connects the world of the living and the dead. Next, we see a few workers inside an abandoned community center carrying out demolition work. One of the workers is breaking a wall when he suddenly sees something strange, causing him to stop working. His co-worker tells him to continue, but soon they discover the severely decomposed corpse of a girl hidden inside the wall, which is extremely terrifying. Frightened by what they see, the workers panic and the scene shifts. News about the building spreads everywhere, and it is reported that a girl's body has been found inside the community center. The news also reveals that the body is remarkably well preserved and is linked to gruesome murders committed in the past by a serial killer. The same worker who found the body watches this news, but ever since the incident, he has mentally deteriorated. He begins seeing disturbing visions, and eventually, he takes his own life. The story then moves back to the year 1998, where we see a shaman performing a ritual outside the same community center. She is holding the ancient dagger, and during the ritual, she sends her consciousness into the building. Inside, she finds a guest book from the year 1990 containing the names of people who visited the place. As she examines the book, multiple spirits attack and restrain her, attempting to kill her. Before dying, the shaman manages to tear out one page from the notebook, but she does not survive. From this, it becomes clear that the building is haunted by not just one, but many spirits, and something extremely horrific must have occurred there in the past. The scene then jumps forward 4 years, to February 2002, where we are introduced to a young man named Dojan. At this point, it is revealed that Dojan is the son of the shaman who died during the ritual. Before her death, she had told Dojan that if she failed, he would have to complete the task himself. Dojan never wanted to become a shaman, but he possesses psychic abilities inherited from his mother. He obtains newspaper clippings and case files related to the incidents that occurred in the building and begins investigating. Through this, we learn that a serial killer named Kim had murdered several people inside the building years ago. Their souls became trapped there, and the shaman had tried and failed to free them. Now, Dojan must complete what his mother could not. The story then moves to February 11th, 2002. The following day is Lunar New Year, and it is revealed that the Guimoon portal opens only on Lunar New Year, allowing spirits and humans to coexist. Dojan already knows this, as his mother had told him everything. His sister calls and begs him to stop, fearing she might lose him just like their mother. However, Dojan has already made up his mind. He believes that only by completing this ritual can his mother's soul finally find peace. Soon after, Dojan arrives at the abandoned community center, carrying a map of the building. Inside, he finds a door and immediately realizes that this is the Guimoon portal. Dojan begins chanting a spell, which connects him to the spirit world. As he moves further inside, he notices writing on a wall that says, "It is here," indicating that the MPD ghost is present within the building. That word will become important later, as its meaning will be revealed afterward. Anyway, after this, Dojan starts moving upstairs. While going up, he notices a handprint on the wall, which is exactly the same size as his own hand. He continues moving forward while checking the map and eventually reaches the maintenance office, where he finds the same 1990 guest book, except that one page is missing. That missing page is with Dojan, which he either received from his mother before her death, or perhaps from her spirit. Anything is possible. At that moment, a spirit begins approaching the room, and seeing this, Dojan hides himself. From here, the scene shifts back to the year 1996, where we see 3 college students, Hae Young, Tae Hoon, and Won Jae. They have come to the community center building to shoot a video because many haunting stories about the building were spreading throughout the city at that time. They were actually making the video for a contest, and if they won, they would receive a large amount of money. However, they had no idea how big a mistake they were making by coming here. Won Jae points the camera toward Hae Young, but suddenly the camera starts glitching. They ignore it and continue joking around. Soon after, they hear a very strange third sound, but even this is taken lightly as a joke. After that, all 3 go up to the rooftop where they begin shooting Hae Young's segment. They only have 4 minutes left because after 4 minutes it would be 12 a.m. and the date would change to February 19th, which was the Lunar New Year of 1996. Hae-young explains that many years ago, the building's custodian killed some guests and the owner using a shovel, and all of this happened on the 3rd floor. The reason behind these murders was never known, because after killing them, the custodian also took his own life. As a result, the truth behind the incident was never uncovered. However, even after that, the deaths never stopped. People continued to die, and anyone who came to this building would eventually lose their life. Because of this, a rumor spread that every Lunar New Year, a door opens, the Guimoon door, and a full moon becomes visible from the rooftop. This moon could only be seen from that spot, even though, according to time and astronomy, a full moon should not have been visible at all. While they are discussing all this, the clock strikes 12 a.m., and it becomes February 19th. That means they should now be able to see the moon, but they see nothing at all. They dismiss the rumors as nonsense. However, Won-jae can see the moon through his video camera, which makes the situation extremely strange. He tells the other two about it. At this point, all three realize that the rumors about this place were not rumors at all, but the truth. As they remain focused on the full moon, the rooftop door suddenly closes on its own. They try to open it, but it refuses to open. After this, the scene returns to the year 2002, where we see Dojan again. His task is to perform exorcism on all the souls and free them, but for that, he needs their names, which are written in the guest book. However, some names are missing from the book. Because of this, Dojan sends his consciousness back to September 1990, the very day when Kim murdered everyone inside the building. After reaching 1990, he begins searching for the trapped souls so that he can free them. Inside one room, he encounters a spirit whose name is written in the guest book. He starts the process of freeing that soul using the same ancient Indian dagger mentioned at the beginning of the movie, the dagger he inherited from his mother. Just as he is about to complete the exorcism, he hears a noise and another spirit suddenly attacks him. Dojan manages to fight back and stabs the spirit. After that, he calls out the spirit's name and uses the dagger to finally free it. This dagger is a special weapon capable of penetrating and harming spirits, which allows Dojan to release them. The scene then shifts back to 1996, where the three students become increasingly curious and decide to capture a ghost on camera. They go to the 3rd floor, the exact place where Kim carried out the murders. As they begin filming there, they suddenly hear a strange and unsettling sound. Suddenly, strange sounds begin to grow louder. At that moment, Hae-young grabs the camera and runs away. Tae-hoon and Won-jae try to catch her, and when they finally reach her, they see Hae-young sitting on the floor. Hae-young explains that she ran away with the camera to prove that she is strong and not afraid. At the same time, she also figured out the source of the strange sound. In reality, the carpet lying on the floor was torn, and because of air movement, it was shifting back and forth. The sound they heard was actually coming from that carpet. Hearing this, all three feel relieved and take a deep breath. But then they realize something terrifying. There was no air moving at all. The place was completely sealed and packed. At that moment, all three of them begin to panic. All their joking and laughter disappear in an instant. Now, Tae-hoon and Won-jae look into the camera, and inside it, Hae-young appears extremely frightening. Seeing this, they become terrified. After that, Hae-young herself looks into the camera and sees her face completely covered in blood. This shocks her badly, and she panics. Now, they finally understand how big a mistake they made by coming here. They start running away, leaving Hae-young behind. However, moments later, Hae-young catches up with them. At first, they think she might be possessed, but that is not the case. They decide to leave the building together, but Won-jae suddenly stops because he wants to retrieve his camera. He moves forward to get it, but then strange sounds begin again, frightening him badly. At that moment, Hae-young and Tae-hoon appear in front of him, but they had already gone downstairs. So how did they return to the 3rd floor again? That is when they realize the horrifying truth. They are unable to leave the 3rd floor at all. They are trapped in a loop because everything that happened, the murders and the horrors, took place on the 3rd floor. On the other side, we see Dojan's consciousness in the year 1990. Suddenly, he hears someone screaming. It is Won-jae's voice. Hearing this, Dojan asks him what is happening. Won-jae tells him that they are in danger, and Dojan immediately tells him to hide somewhere. At this point, you might feel confused about what exactly is happening. Won-jae came here in 1996, while Dojan sent his consciousness to 1990. So how are they interacting? Here is the explanation. Time itself has merged. Whether it is 1990, 1996, or any other year no longer matters. Everything has fused into one. This is happening because of the Guimoon door. The Guimoon door does not only connect humans and spirits, but it also merges time itself. Dojan then goes to room number 304, searching for two souls so that he can free them. However, he finds no one there at first. Then, inside a closet, he discovers a young girl. He asks her name, but she does not respond. Dojan gives her a candy, and after that, she finally tells him her name, Yoon Mi-rin. But something is very wrong. No such girl should exist in this building. Even worse, there is no entry for anyone named Mi-rin in the guest book. Despite this, Dojan still wants to free her. But suddenly, the lights go out, and Mi-rin reveals her terrifying true form. Immediately, many spirits grab Dojan, trying to kill him in the same way his mother was killed. Dojan somehow manages to free himself and tries to escape, but at that moment he finds a missing poster buried in the ground, and it belongs to Mi-rin. On the other side, the three students continue trying to escape, but no matter what they do, they keep returning to the third floor again and again. Eventually, they reach the first floor, where the Guimoon door once was. However, the door has completely disappeared, and now they have no idea how to leave the building. Tae-hoon says that their only option is to somehow climb down from the rooftop. As they are discussing this, they hear footsteps, as if someone is approaching them. They turn around and see Kim's spirit, holding the shovel in his hands. Seeing this horrifying sight, all three scream in terror. Meanwhile, Dojan exits room 304 and tries to leave, but after wandering, he ends up back at the same place. That means Dojan is now trapped in the loop as well. At that moment, Kim's spirit approaches Dojan, and Dojan begins to fight him. Kim strikes Dojan violently with the shovel, knocking him to the ground. As Dojan lies there, he sees a vision of his mother's death. After that, Kim suddenly disappears. Dojan starts calling out to his mother, but then Kim's voice echoes again. Dojan picks up his dagger and prepares himself. However, Mi-rin appears and stops him, warning him that if he goes there, he will die. Dojan listens to her because he is already badly injured and blood is flowing from his head. Mi-rin takes him with her, and as they move away, Dojan places his hand on the wall, leaving a handprint behind. You may remember that when Dojan first entered the building, he noticed a handprint on the wall identical to his own. Now it becomes clear that handprint was his own, left at a different point in time. This confirms that time is functioning in a completely distorted way inside the building. On the other side, we see the three students running in fear. Hae-young suggests that they should hide somewhere until morning. Suddenly, they hear more strange sounds and start running again, but Hae-young is left behind. Meanwhile, Mi-rin takes Dojan to room number 204, and outside that room, Tae-hoon and Won-jae are also present. Suddenly, black liquid begins dripping onto Won-jae. Moments later, a large amount of the same black liquid pours down on him, completely engulfing him and killing him on the spot. Seeing this, Tae-hoon is completely terrified. Meanwhile, Dojan begins asking Mi-rin about herself. Dojan asks Mi-rin how she went missing. Mi-rin tells him that she was never missing. She had always been inside this building. After this, we are shown Mi-rin's backstory. When Mi-rin was alive, her father Kim used to physically abuse her every day. Mi-rin would beg him for mercy, but he never stopped. Kim was cruel and merciless, and because of this continuous abuse, Mi-rin slowly became mentally ill. Due to extreme trauma and stress, she developed multiple personality disorder. As we all know, every human has two sides. Similarly, Mi-rin had one innocent, kind side and one evil side. Her evil side once threatened Kim, warning him that if he ever beat her again, she would kill him. Terrified by this, Kim did something horrifying. He sealed his own daughter alive inside a wall. But what happened after that was even more terrifying. Just like Mi-rin had a split personality, her soul also split into two. One was Mi-rin's innocent soul, and the other was her evil soul. After her death, Mi-rin's evil soul possessed her father Kim. While being possessed, Kim killed all the guests who came to the building. This means Kim was not acting on his own will. After all the murders, Mi-rin's evil soul forced Kim to kill himself as well. Now you may remember that when Dojan first entered the building, he saw the words MPD Ghost written on the wall. Here, MPD stands for Multiple Personality Disorder. At this point, everything finally makes sense to Dojan. The most disturbing truth is that anyone who died inside the building had their soul trapped there. These souls didn't even realize whether they were alive or dead. That is why people who entered the building believed it was haunted, while in reality, the spirits themselves were trapped and suffering. Even worse, Dojan realizes that Mirin's evil soul was likely possessing or controlling other spirits, ordering them to kill humans. On the other side, Hae Young reaches the place where Mirin was sealed alive inside the wall. At that moment, Mirin's evil spirit emerges from the wall and attacks Hae Young. Meanwhile, Dojan asks Mirin the name of her evil soul, but Mirin is unable to say it. Dojan presses her harder, but suddenly Mirin's evil soul overpowers her innocent side and violently throws Dojan away. This shows that the evil personality has completely taken control, and Dojan loses consciousness. Soon after, we see Mirin's evil soul near Hae Young, but it leaves. Dojan then arrives and mistakes Hae Young for a spirit. He asks her name and birth date, and she tells him everything honestly. Believing she is a trapped soul, Dojan begins performing the ritual to free her using the dagger, but Tae-hoon suddenly arrives and saves her. That is when Dojan realizes both of them are still humans, or at least he believes so. They move forward together and start searching for Won-jae. But Dojan tells them that escaping the building is more important than searching for their friend. As they proceed, they are shocked to find Won-jae's dead body. From this, they understand that Won-jae is no longer alive. Suddenly, Won-jae becomes possessed and sits in one place. Because of the black liquid, Won-jae has gone blind, which means he cannot see them. However, they still cannot escape because Won-jae has the key to the exit door. To distract him, Dojan throws an object, and while doing so, he tries to grab the key. At the same time, Tae-hoon throws another object, which alerts Won-jae to Dojan's position. At this moment, greed enters Tae-hoon's heart. He takes the key and tries to escape alone, abandoning the others. Dojan somehow manages to escape Won-jae and reaches Tae-hoon. Dojan is furious at Tae-hoon's betrayal, but they continue moving forward. Suddenly, something takes over Tae-hoon, and he begins writing on the wall, "MPD Ghost is here." This reveals that Tae-hoon himself wrote those words earlier. Dojan then asks Hae Young for today's date. She replies, February 19th, 1996. Hearing this, Dojan finally understands the horrifying truth. Hae Young and Tae-hoon are already dead, and they were never supposed to be with him. This means that all three students died back in 1996. The present timeline actually belongs to Dojan, who entered the building in 2002. Because of the Guimoon door, time has merged completely. That is why Dojan can see their spirits, and why the events of 1996 are being shown alongside the present. After realizing this, Dojan steps forward to free Hae Young using the dagger, but Hae Young tells him to stay away, refusing to believe she is dead. She insists that she is alive. At that moment, black liquid begins flowing from her eyes, and she attacks Dojan, screaming that he is lying. Dojan tries to explain that if she is not freed, she will remain trapped inside the building forever, which has already happened. But suddenly, Tae-hoon attacks Dojan from behind and stabs him. Tae-hoon has lost his sanity because Mirin's evil soul manipulated him, promising that if he killed Dojan, he would be freed. In reality, Mirin's evil soul feared Dojan because he had the power to destroy her, and that is why she tempted and manipulated others. Despite being injured, Dojan manages to stab Tae-hoon in the leg with the dagger, knocking him back. At the same time, Mirin's evil soul begins possessing Hae Young again. Dojan stumbles, collapses, and loses consciousness. Then, his mother's presence appears and helps him stand up. As soon as he regains consciousness, Tae-hoon attacks him again, choking him and trying to kill him. At that moment, Hae Young stabs Tae-hoon with the same ancient Indian dagger, ending him forever. After this, Hae Young finally understands everything, and she looks at Dojan, ready to accept the truth. Everything finally becomes clear to Hae Young, and she asks Dojan to free her soul. However, before Dojan can do anything, Mirin's evil spirit drags Hae Young away. Dojan then reaches the Guimoon door and opens it, stepping inside. But once inside, nothing makes sense to him. He realizes that he is trapped inside the door itself, and only then does the horrifying truth hit him. He is already dead. Yes. In reality, Dojan died at the exact moment when Kim's spirit struck him with the shovel earlier. After realizing this truth, Dojan stabs himself with the ancient dagger, finally freeing his own soul. In a way, he also chose this fate because he no longer wanted to remain trapped there. This means that Dojan also failed to fully complete his mission. Miran's evil spirit is extremely powerful. She controls all the spirits inside the building. Even worse, the spirits do not remember whether they are alive or dead. The only moment they realize the truth is when the black liquid starts flowing out of them. That is when they finally understand that they are no longer alive. So when Dojan traveled from 2002 to 1996 and 1990, he was not time traveling in a normal sense. He was witnessing the past, where the 3 students had already died in 1996. Through this, the movie shows us how the timeline works inside the building and how people actually die there, something that was unclear earlier. This is how deaths occurred inside that place. After this, the scene returns to the beginning, back in 2002, when Dojan initially entered the building and we first saw the Guimoon door. A few days later, the scene shifts again, and we see Dojan's sister arriving near the same building, searching for him. Since she is also the daughter of the shaman, she may possess similar powers. It is possible that she will now find the dagger and the remaining clues, and maybe she will be the one who can finally do something about this curse. And with that, Guimoon, the Lightless Door, comes to an end. If you enjoyed this explanation, smash the like button and help us reach 500 likes. Your one like really motivates me. Share this video with friends who love horror, mystery, and twisted stories. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, because many more scary and interesting movie explanations are coming. If you have any doubts or theories, tell me in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay safe.